guys went last weekend to see Finding Dory with the oldest two children last weekend. It's already Thursday. Christ, where did the time go? Anyway, I always have this expectation to go into these children's movies with like, oh, this is just going to be a kids movie. I'm not going to like this. And almost every time I end up liking the movie, and then the other two are just like, man, whatever, I don't care. Very, very rarely do they find something like they really like. But anyway, Finding Dory, absolutely excellent. Very, very prettily animated. Is that a thing people say? It is now. I don't think there was a single character in that movie that I didn't like. I wasn't a big fan of the turtle guy from Finding Nemo, and you see him very briefly, and I'm glad he went away very quickly. I don't know why I've always hated him. I like turtles. I don't mind the weird surfer attitude, but I don't like him. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, I suppose, if he's in there so briefly. But you have Dory, who has short-term memory loss every 10 seconds or so, I believe they mention in the movie. She forgets what happens. In the initial phases of the movie, you see Dory as a little fish and is absolutely the cutest thing in the world as her parents try to play with her and describe her environment to her, and she talks about shells, and by far the cutest part of the movie, in my opinion. One thing to point out, it's very similar to the idea of Finding Nemo. Even my son said within the first, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes of the movie, this is Finding Nemo. I'm like, yeah, kinda. The movie's more Dory finding herself and looking for her parents, but the overall gist is pretty much the same. I guess you could argue that for tons of those types of movies, but as far as the other characters go, Marlin and Nemo make another appearance there. With Dory helping her find her parents. They have to go to California. Certain phrases that get uttered throughout the movie triggers Dory's long-term memory, and she can remember a small bit of where she's from and where her parents might be. I'm jumping around a little bit. I'll stick with the characters for now and get into the movie a little more. There was talking squid. I guess I can talk about them both at the same time, or how they were introduced. They end up finding this place in California. It's like a rehabilitation center. I can't remember how Dory ended up getting the 6-pack little plastic thing that covers the 6-pack, the ring. Do they still do that? I don't remember the last time I've seen one of those. I would imagine they still do. But anyway, there's some people in a boat that work at this rehabilitation center. They see this blue, I can't remember what type of fish Dory is, but they see Dory with that thing on her, capture, take her in. Marlin and Nemo need to figure out how to go get her again. So Dory gets into this place, gets tagged. Later they find out to go with the rest of that type of fish out to Cleveland. And there's an octopus in there, voiced by Ed O'Neill, if I remember. I've loved Ed O'Neill ever since Married with Children. Does an absolutely awesome job voicing Hank. This squid just kind of, he escapes, and he's just out for the whole movie. He blends into anything, can change his shape, pretty much go anywhere. He turns into like a railing at one point. He just really, he wants to go to Cleveland to get out of that place. Dory, once again voiced by Ellen DeGeneres, another awesome job, I thought, voice acting there. He apparently, I didn't even notice, but Hank the octopus was missing a leg, so Dory refers to him as a septopus instead of an octopus, which I don't know why I found that humorous, but okay, it makes sense, I suppose. Yeah, again, I don't want to get too far into it because I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but I can't do a movie review and give my opinions without sharing at least some of it, right? Um, Other characters, there was, they call her Dory's pipe pal. Uh, Dory was from this exhibit inside of this rehabilitation center, and she would talk through a pipe in this weird kind of funky language to a whale shark named Destiny, who is extremely nearsighted. Uh, can't, pretty much like me, can't read 2 inches in front of you without a good pair of glasses or something like that. But of course, this whale shark can't help it and just smashes into walls and all that. There was a beluga. That's really the only character I didn't really care for. I mean, I didn't have a problem with it, but it's the most least interesting character, I thought. This beluga whale that didn't know how to what is the word for it? Uh, wow, completely drawing a blank. It's on the tip of my tongue. Echolocation, that's it. He doesn't know how to echolocate, so he's just in this pool. I guess that's why. I thought they said he hit his head or something, but that might have been a joke because belugas have that big meh. I don't know. I wasn't. I think they just threw him in there just so they could talk to the fish when they were. I don't know. Probably could have done without him. Hank pretty much stole the show, in my opinion. They end up. No, they. Dory and Nemo. I really don't want to spoil it, but I feel like there's a car chase scene. I'll just leave it at that. Where there's this truck taking these fish off to Cleveland. I'm not going to say who's in the truck. Watch the movie, find out yourself. But somehow this whale shark, Destiny, the beluga whale, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, and a couple other fish are trying to stop this truck because it's taking certain people off to this place where they don't want to be, and they don't know that they escaped, so they're trying to stop this truck. And somehow they get these otters to stop on the freeway. This truck stops, the whole frickin' highway is backed up because of these otters. And, like, it was initially said before this happened, oh, they'll stop for anything cute. And sure enough, the people get out of the car, they're not pissed. They're like, just, oh, how cute, because the otter's just sitting there cuddling in the middle of the freeway. So what happens after that is the octopus takes over this truck, and he's steering it all over the place and ends up reuniting all the fish, and he just drives this truck over a cliff into the ocean to reunite all these fish. And I just thought it was hilarious. Every single scene that had that octopus in it, I swear to God, I absolutely loved. It was just staring at. But I'll probably leave it at there. I probably just wrecked the ending, but I wanted to talk about that because I really enjoyed that scene in particular. There was a song playing. I can't remember what the song was. They're all falling in slow motion. I remember it being something I thought was funny too. Oh well, I'll just leave the rest of the movie for you guys to watch. If you get a chance, definitely take kids to see it. Hell, even see it by yourself. Totally worth a view. Give it a look.